right, so now that you know how to load a single roll and actually load the press, we're going to go over dual roll. So first thing you're going to want to grab is you're going to want your differential. So you have one that has an eye on it. As you can see here, there's an eye, so that is input. The other one has an O for output. And they wheel in and lock into these bolted plates on the ground. So what you want to do is this washer area and this pin is going to slide into these two brackets here, and then these clips on the back where this periwinkle blue latches is going to sit into the back of those. So you're going to grab that, you're going to push it all the way in until that's locked into place. So to remove it, the blue handles up and you just pull it back and it will release. So you'll know it's locked into place when you can't pull it out. So you want to open the top. So since your drive motor is down there, you don't have one there, you're going to have two cores. This acts as a differential and a drive motor for the core on this side. So once you get that in, you're going to have your material on your spindles. There's a left and a right when it comes to these, and I'll show you as we're putting them on. So over here you have the gear on the end with a flat washer plate. So the one with the gear on the end with that little lip is going to go on the drive side of the spindle area, and the other one has a gear in the center what's flat, and on the end it has a lip but no gear, so it's just smooth all the way around, and that's going to just sit down in the washers down there. So when you want to get them on, you're going to just wheel them over. You can pick up one side, put it on, pick up the other side, drop it down. As you can see, there's one gear here, 3 gears inside this differential. So this gear here, you want it to sit on the one gear that's all the way to the right. So that will sit on that gear. This will sit down on the bearings at the bottom. And so we'll get the other material on there. As you can see, this one's got 2 gears. So the 2 gears are going to sit down on the 2 gears down there. All right, so now those are on. The material is on the core, but there's no air in the bladder. Being 2 spindles, you're going to have 2 bladders that you're going to need to fill up. As you can see here, I can hold one, spin it. I could hold it and spin it, or I can hold it. This one spins backwards and reverse to hold that tension depending on the outer diameter of the rolls. There is a bar at the bottom down here. So what I do is I will hold the 2, I will match up where the material starts. And down here, there's a blue switch on the spindle to lock it in place. So once you lock that in place, now when I spin, they're both going to spin in the same direction. So keep them lined up when you're loading it, so you can pull them through at the same time. So since those are in there, I'm going to close this gate down here, make sure that locks into place, doesn't open up. We're going to need to get the tape measure and the air hose. We're going to measure from the left plate and the right plate on both ends of the material, so when we go on the other side, we would be able to measure the same and have the same distance and have each roll squared to each other versus just measuring the one side and the one side for a single roll. So let's get the tape measure, let's measure it up, let's fill up the air, we'll get it through the back, we'll weave it in, pull it through the front, and then I'll show you how to load the front. All right, got the tape measure. One thing you could do is you can look here and you can eyeball the spindle and the roll. Kind of want to center it as best you can. The max roll width that will fit on a dual roll is 60 inches. So this is 54 inches. So again, we could probably move it to be about 8 inches off that side, and it'll be nice and even. So we'll come down here, put the tape measure up against the metal plate, bring that down to a nice even 8 inches. That looks pretty center. Now we'll go down here, the same thing, all the way at the other end. We'll do another 8 inches off of this plate. So, moving it down to a nice, a little bit past. 8 inches. We'll lock that down. Now grab your air hose. You have one bladder fill joint here, 3 seconds. Come down here. Your other bladder fill is actually on the end. So we'll spin it around till we get to the bladder fill, 3 seconds. Close all the gates. So now we got that all set. We got the material all locked into place. We're pulling the material off pretty even. So we're gonna take the tape off. We're gonna loosen up the pinch wheel assembly. Let that just sit there. So we're gonna go ahead and cut the tape on the roll. When you're doing this though, make sure you're not cutting into the roll. You don't wanna have marks. That's gonna ruin the print. So just nice easy slides. Cut that up, let it hang. And now we're gonna bring this up through like we would do for the 126 inch. When you're pulling on this roll over on this side, it's gonna give me some more slack on the other side. As you can see there, how it's moving out. So I'm gonna pull it behind the roll, let it hang. I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna bring it up around that diverter. Bring it up to the back. Let it overhang a little bit. All right, so got the slack. Brought it down, let it hang there for a little bit. Gonna pull the pinch wheel assembly down. I'm gonna grab this side here. Gonna pull it over. Let's give that a good 10 inches or so on that side. Grab the other side, pull it over. Now this part's gonna be a little tricky by yourself, so you wanna hold it taut on the ends. You're gonna hold the pinch wheel assembly and you're gonna push it up. So the one thing with this that is gonna be a little bit different from the single roll is you're not gonna worry about jogging this up, getting it into the pinch wheel assembly. We're gonna jog it up when we get it down into the front. So that is the back. Now it's ready to move on to the front. All right, up in the front, got our differential. It's got the O on it for output. So we're gonna take that, we're gonna slide that, lock it into place. Keep the gears open. Same thing. You're gonna have the drive side with the gear on the end and the 2 gears in the middle. So we're gonna just slip that in there. Get that into place, lock it down. The bladders in this are filled up, so we're gonna release that. So then we can move this to set it to the measurements of the back. We got the other side, gear in the center, flat on the outside. Put that in. We can put down all of the latches. So before we bring the material through and all that, I'm gonna measure up our 8 inches from the plate. So move that over to 8. That's pretty good there. 8 inches off this side as well. Right there. We're gonna need to fill it. Come down here. fill it. And now, remember how I had this locked over there in the back? It's going to be very important that when we go to print and we go to set it up, we unlock it. So if the outer diameters of the rolls are slightly different, it won't cause any problems. So now that that's there, the same thing that we did last time for the single roll is we're going to advance the material through. We're going to pull it out, let it drop down behind the curing unit, and then we'll tape it up. Being that this is self-adhesive vinyl with a liner on it, we're going to go in the front of the roll and tape it through the back. Because with vinyl you want to roll it image out. If you roll it image in, you have the likelihood of the liner kinking and wrinkling and coming off the print, which would cause a no good print. So we got that. This is unlocked. We don't need to have this locked. I'm gonna go now. We're gonna show you again what to do on the software, and then we'll get back down to here and tape it up. All right, so we went through, we unlocked and unpinned the curing unit. So we got that taken care of. So now we're gonna go back over to here. We're gonna go to substrate load and unload. It's gonna pop up. The difference between that is you're gonna select dual roll. This is also gonna give your print software the two different rolls for what you're gonna be printing on. So this, we have down here, self-adhesive vinyl, Excelsis matte, make sure that's right. That's our material category and our material substrate profile. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to advance it, and I'm gonna pull that through and then push it down the curing unit. So open up the gate now that we're advancing it. Pull the curing unit forward. Now we're gonna watch that material just fall down. And now it's gonna come through. If it gets caught up, we would help it out. Once it gets to a certain distance, it will stop on its own. It's free falling pretty well, so we can go push this curing unit back in. Pin it down. And so material is down through there, down through the curing unit, so we can close the hood. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the back of the machine. I'm going to just unlatch this. I'm going to leave it loose, just sitting up there like that, just so there's no pressure on the roller. When we go back to the front, now I'm going to jog it, and then after it's jogged, nice and jogged, after it's nice and jogged, we can tape it up, can unlock it, and then this should be ready to go. So let's tape it up. So when I'm jogging it, grab it forward, just shake it left to right, pull it out a little bit, just shake it left to right till it lines up with that side that you measured. So now that you've got it shaking left to right, put some tape on it, wrap that tape around the back. Since this is a smaller roll of material, you can just do one in the center and then one on each side. Let's make sure it's nice and tight all the way around, so we'll pull this edge a little bit more. You want to kind of have a nice even tension on it. All right, same thing, let's shake this left to right until it lines up with the side that we measured on, and then tape it up. If you have a little bit too much material down here, you can certainly cut it to shorten it up a little bit. But if you have way too much, you might want to pull it back some. All right, so now that we have that all on, gonna head around back. So we come to the back, now it's all jogged up. Make sure that we lock up that pinch wheel assembly. Head back around to the front. Oops, one thing I forgot, which the software will tell you if you do, but make sure you come back over here, and on this latch here, you want to make sure that that's unlocked. So come back to the front here, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go down to finish. It's going to tell you to make sure it's unlocked, which we just did. You hit OK, and now you see how it's going to go through the motions, figure out how you got it taped down to those take-up rolls. And then again, the head carriage is going to come out. It's going to go all the way across. It's going to find where you have all of your measurements for the material, and then you'll be able just to print your file. So that is dual roll.